In this video, I'm going to be talking about a very common complaint from a lot of people who have young dogs or working dogs, or even better, young working dogs. The complaint revolves around the same set of problems, which is he's destructive, he's always getting into trouble, he's loud, he's chasing the kids, he's reactive. He lunges at people, he lunges at dogs. Now, lunging at people, lunging at dogs might be a problem that is separate, that is not necessarily inclusive to just working dogs or young dogs. That could be a separate problem altogether. But in general, the complaints about a young dog or a working dog or a young working dog revolve around those set of problems. The one thing that I know from experience owning several of these working dogs and having worked with working dogs for the majority of my career is this: they need exercise. They need mental and physical exercise. Right? These are dogs that tend to have a very high need for activity in their lives, for something purposeful in their lives. So here are some things that will really work with these dogs. First of all, you have to get a nice confinement space. Okay, this could be a crate, this could be a kennel. But the reason that I'm suggesting this is a lot of people don't really crate their dogs. When you talk to people, in general, people don't crate their dogs. Now, if you have a dog that doesn't really get in a lot of trouble, it's fine. But if you have a dog that is impulsive, if you have a dog that is young, if you have a dog that needs a lot of activity in their lives, if they're not crated for a period of time throughout the day, they will find something to destroy. It's just going to happen. Even if they're not destructive, they will find something to get in trouble with. Find a suitable place to confine your dog for a period of time. If it is a crate, make sure it is a good quality crate. A simple, cheap crate that you can get at Walmart, those might be okay for, again, your average type of dog. But if you have a very young, if you have a working dog, if you have a young working dog, a dog that needs a lot of activity, you don't want to get one of those cheap crates. They will destroy it, they will break out of the crate, and then they'll learn that they can break out of crates, and you'll just reinforce that excitability in the crate, because they'll bust out of the crate every time they get excited. So don't get them a cheap crate. Get them something that is a little bit better quality, something that is safe. Even wire crates can be a little bit better, but wire crates can also be dangerous, because if you have a dog that is determined enough, they will bend the wire crate and they will hurt themselves in the process just to get out. If you have a working dog, a young dog that needs a lot of activity, find a space for them to just chill. Okay, and they're not gonna like it. They're not gonna willingly go, okay, I'll sleep for a few hours. Sometimes you have to teach them. You have to let them know that being in that crate is part of the routine. And even if they fight you a little bit, you let them know it's just part of the routine. Okay, so that is going to be very beneficial for this type of dog. The other thing too that is going to be very beneficial is to give them something that they can destroy safely. Okay, a lot of these dogs love to use their mouth. They love to chew on things. Now, we don't want them to chew on our furniture. We don't want them to chew on your wires, on your just a bunch of things that they could destroy that is not appropriate, that could even be dangerous for them. So what you do is you get them something that they can destroy. So if it is your personal dog, you can get appropriate chew toys. Now, what I recommend is not hard, like the shallow bones, like the leg bones. They can break your dog's teeth. They can be very dangerous, especially if they start splintering them and swallowing them. They can be very, very hazardous for them to chew on those things. But one thing that I like is horns. Horns are very durable, very hard, but they tend to grind, right? Because it's made of like the keratosis, or it's very similar to like when you look at your nails. It's a very similar texture. So the horns or the hooves tend to grind. They don't really break apart as much or as easy as a cooked bone would. So they tend to grind it, they tend to enjoy that activity, and just gives them something to go crazy over. It gives them something that they can put their, their jaw muscles to work that does not involve your furniture. So you can give them that throughout the day. You can give them that in their crate even. So that's something that is important with young dogs or working dogs or young working dogs. Give them something that they can destroy safely. I do want to add to that you want to make sure that you supervise this first. Okay, you don't want to just give them the bone or the horn, the hoof, and just walk away. Watch how they interact with it. Watch what they do with it. Some dogs would be very satisfied just grinding it, right, chewing on it. And some dogs, there are some that just want to eat it, right? And they'll try their best to like try to eat the whole thing, try to swallow the whole thing. You have to be careful. If that's the type of dog you have, and you'll notice like they look like they're trying to eat it. They're trying to swallow it whole. If that's the type of dog that you have, which is not many, but if that's the type of dog that you have, definitely that's not a good idea. Find something else, find a different outlet. The other thing that is very beneficial for these dogs is a schedule of exercise. Now, exercise can come in different forms, but what a lot of people do is they just walk their dogs. Walking your young dog, I'm gonna tell you, it's just not enough. Walking your working dog, it's just not enough. Walking your young working dog, I'm telling you, it's not enough. Walking alone is not enough. The rate that you can walk, even if you speed walk, it's nothing for the dog. Okay, to them it's just a light walk. You're going for a walk, even if you're speed walking, it's like really nothing to them. Even if you go on jogs with your dog, you'll notice as you're jogging, you're running, even if you're sprinting next to your dog, you'll notice your dog is just trotting. So the amount of exercise that we would find suitable for us and we combine it with our dogs, it's not always suitable. Again, it might be suitable for a different type of dog. If you have a young, crazy, impulsive dog that just loves a lot of activity, the average 15-20 minute walk a day, I'm telling you, it's just not going to be enough. So exercise could be something like playing ball with your dog. The one thing that could be very beneficial is if you have any bit of area, like even if it's a small yard, if you can just teach your dog to play fetch, meaning you toss the ball, instead of them just grabbing the ball and running all over the place, actually bringing it back to you. Take the ball, you toss it again, they're running, chasing it, bringing it back. I'm going to include a link in this video that shows you how we teach that here. But you toss the toy, they run, and they bring it back. You take it from them, you toss it, they bring it back. Now that running back and forth, that is more suitable than your 15-minute walk. Okay. The other thing is, if you do want to walk, if maybe you don't have the yard, the one thing that will supplement your walk is an exercise vest, a weighted vest. The X-Dog vest in particular, you can add weights gradually, strap it to the dog, and add the weights gradually, and that will supplement your walk so that your walks are a little bit better than just random walks. Okay, we want the dog to have some sort of resistance, and if playing fetch is not something you can do, you can make your walks that much more exciting. You can make your walks much more purposeful by adding weight to it in a gradual manner. Of course, we want this to be safe. We want to make sure your dog is healthy for this. So that's another thing that you can do. The other form of exercise is a treadmill. You can get a treadmill made for dogs. If your dog is small enough, you can use a regular human treadmill. So if you have a treadmill you haven't used in a while, you can have your dog run on the treadmill, of course safely. Okay, you don't just strap them on there, turn it on, and walk away. That could be very hazardous for the dog. You don't want to leave them unattended. But this is something that you can kind of work through, and it'll give them some exercise. You could actually adjust the pace on the treadmill and have the dog do more than just a light trot. But obviously you want to teach them to do this again kind of gradually until they get used to it. If you have a dog that is a little bit longer, like your average herding breed, like your German Shepherds, your Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, or other dogs that have a longer spine, your human treadmill is not going to do it. The human treadmill is made for the human stride, whereas your longer dogs, their stride is longer, so the platform has to be a little bit longer. If that's the case, I would suggest you invest in a dog treadmill. They're specifically made to accommodate the length of a dog's stride. And you can get something that is electronic all the way to something more manual like the slat mills. Now the slat mills are manual. They also have manual combinations with electronic slat mills. So they function as a manual slat mill, but they also function as an electric treadmill. Obviously, those are more expensive options. But even if you get just a basic slat mill that is manual, that is another product that is made for dogs that accommodates their stride, and it's a speed that they can control. They can sprint if they want to. They can walk if they want to. So that's another thing that typically is very beneficial for these young dogs, for these working dogs, or for these young working dogs. So if you have any problems with that type of situation, if you are the dog owner or if you are the dog trainer who gets a lot of these complaints, I'm going to summarize again what we went over. So first, an area of confinement that is safe, like a good crate or a kennel, somewhere to put them away for a period of time so that they can be out of trouble. They don't have to be there all day, but definitely throughout periods of the day. The next thing that we discussed is something for them to destroy, something that they can safely destroy without getting in trouble, and obviously it being safe. One of my favorite ones is horns or hooves. Bones I don't really do because bones can get swallowed. They can, they can break the dog's teeth. So I don't typically go for bones unless we're talking about the knuckles, right? If we're doing like the knuckles, like the grinding part, the cartilage part of the bone, those are really good because those are again are areas where the dog can grind. So those are the things that I'll recommend, something that they can destroy, something that they can chew. And the last thing that we discussed is a form of exercise. Some of the forms of exercise that we discussed is playing fetch. Teach your dog to retrieve the ball. You can take it from the dog and then toss it, and then that running back and forth is great exercise for them. And the other one that we discussed is either a treadmill or a slat mill. But remember, your average walk is really typically not enough unless you can supplement that walk with an exercise vest where you can add some weight to it and give the walk more of a purpose. Check out the X-Dog vest for that. All right, guys, just make sure that you follow those steps. If you have any questions, any concerns, put them in the comments and I'll try to address them. I'll see you in the next video.